So in 2010, ArcelorMittal made a public commitment in support of the United Nations Declarations for Human Rights. The human rights policy is very much core and aligned to our company values, and actually since launching the policy in 2010 we have trained over 200,000 employees, and we have approximately 250,000 employees, so we think that's a huge effort. We don't know of any corporation that has trained so many of employees in human rights training, human rights policies. So we're very pleased with our accomplishments there, and by training our employees it creates a stronger environment and a culture that intrinsically considers human rights in every action of the corporation. So we're very proud of that. In terms of the priorities going forward, we have included human rights much more formally in our supplier relations through our Code for Responsible Sourcing, and we intend to do much more in this area in the next year or two, as well as continuing to train our employees so that we can train all of our 250,000 employees globally. It's very important for our business. We operate in over 60 countries around the world, and so human rights is a very key priority for our management, and we will integrate it much more into our business practices going forward. Our business will only be successful and sustainable in the future if we can attract and retain the best talent and the best skills. So we're very focused on skills and on training of our employees. When there has to be restructuring, which is very sensitive and difficult obviously for a company, we want to minimize job losses, retain as many employees as possible, or look at mobility policies in order to encourage them to move to other facilities when possible. But we're very focused around training and skills development, as well as investment in R&D. We've invested over $300 million in R&D last year, $1 million in R&D, and we have over 11 R&D facilities globally, and over 1,300 R&D, research and development workers. So we're very keen in continuing to invest in productivity and innovation through R&D. And also in terms of the ArcelorMittal Foundation, we're investing actively in communities and in education projects where we have facilities. We've already invested over 200 million euros globally. So that's very key for us going forward. And we're working very closely with policymakers in order to minimize restructuring and minimize investment cost, particularly in Europe, where issues such as energy policy, environment policy, but particularly energy is very, very high cost factor for investment in Europe. So that's where we'll be focused in the next year or two.